Hey guys, so we're going to do a reading and we're going to kind of look at the government shutdown, the aftermath. So it looks like what is happening. Now, this is interesting because when I did my first government shutdown reading, when I get to the end to try to predict when it will come to an end, I was torn and now I understand. I was kind of saying it could be November 12th or it could be December. I'm not sure which one Spirit's trying to say here, but now I think I understand because it's looking like about midweek, which would be about the 12th, the government should be reopened. It's going to take a few days. It's going to take a few days, but the subsidy vote is going to be in December. Okay, so that's their kind of thing on the table and the Dems caved. That basically that's what it comes down to. A lot of people are upset about it. All this for nothing. Dems caved and everything because when the subsidies get voted on, they'll go in the Senate, but Moses Mike Johnson isn't even going to entertain it. So expect the premium subsidies to go up. We're going to look at that. We're reading on the aftermath. Okay. So it should be open by the 12th. So it looks like it's like now I understand, Spirit, why you had me torn, because it would open, but the subsidies wouldn't be dealt with until December. Now it makes sense. Now, of course, is it the 11th, the 13th? We'll see. We'll see if it hits the 12th, but it looks like we got the 12th or damn close. Okay, so it looks like that was dead on. So that's the thing. Sometimes Spirit will give a message, but it can be like, what are we saying here? But then here it comes and everything. So now it makes perfect sense what Spirit was trying to say. I mean, we knew inevitably it has to reopen, and stuff like that. Now, kind of what's the upside? If we were going to look at the upside, well, good. The federal workers get pay. They should get their back pay unless Trump tries to say he's not going to, because he threatened that. But they said they're supposed to get their back pay. And then also the SNAP people can finally breathe a sigh of relief. They'll be good through December of 2026, getting their SNAP benefits. We'll see. But there still could be another government shutdown because certain things expire January 30th. We'll see what happens with that. So that's a good thing. People starting to get paid again is a good thing. But of course the bad thing is the healthcare. The whole fight over it is going to be horrific and stuff, which 50,000 people a year could die because of what has happened. But the other good thing that I think comes out of it, because one of the things my prerogative and a lot of, I think, light people want is for people to wake up. Okay, this is one of the big ones, to wake up and really see, who cares about them and who doesn't, you know. And the fact Trump really made a very foolish move withholding food from people. Okay, that, should be a wake-up call to a lot of people, fighting like he's going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court just to withhold food from his people. But he'll give $40 billion to Argentina to bail him out. And even when he had his Mar-a-Lago party, and the partying was going on, his Great Gatsby parties, people are seeing that. But even that Argentina leader, he was at Mar-a-Lago dancing to YMCA at the podium, jumping for joy. So he got a $40 billion bailout, okay, but Trump was willing to take SNAP away from his own people and not feed them. Okay, so if people are really keeping up on this and paying attention, it's like I know the thing is Trump thinks his followers are incredibly stupid. Now, some of them are, yes, some of them are. If they are still, after all of this, what we have been through, as we're on this sinking ship together, if they still support him after all this, they need their head examined. Okay, especially if they're out there struggling, working 2, 3 jobs, if they're a farmer trying to save their farm because China's not buying their soybeans anymore and they're about to lose it all, or whatever. If people are still supporting him, okay, after all this, there are people that are starting to see, through, what's called, it was the Affordable Care Act, but it's not going to be affordable. They see their premiums go up, and, if they've got families, then they got to pay for their kids to have health care. And now they have no health care for their kids, even various sufferings. Okay, because, oh, there goes my alarm. I'm up early. Or maybe that's a spirit signal because I hit the word sufferings, various sufferings, that people are going through. But, the thing is to see and observe that. So what we're going to do is kind of look at the aftermath, how kind of like, how are people feeling? Did this government shutdown change perception? Because that's what we really need, guys, is, it would be great if people could all come together, and stand up against this. So let's just kind of see, how this goes. What do we have to look forward to here? All right, it's been a wild ride, hasn't it? And so, yep, no surprise here. Okay, so we got the Three of Pentacles, which can be about, what do I tell you guys? Handshake agreements, deals. Okay, so the big thing happened last night. Schumer caved. He's like, okay, here comes some Democrats and him, you will agree, and we all know the agreement and stuff. Certain things get paid, this, that. We'll postpone the subsidy vote for December. Okay, it was a terrible deal. How terrible? Let's see what the crossing card is and stuff. Okay, so we do have the Princess of Cups, and yes, I would say going in there, when the premiums are going to go up, next year, I would say, kind of getting in there, I would say around Pisces month, because remember, they're going to vote December, and everything. Some of this is going to fall down. There's going to be January 30th and various things. That I think that's really when some things are going to kind of come into fruition, is kind of pointing to that time and stuff. Now, let's kind of go ahead and see what is in the hidden area and stuff. Yep. So we got the Emperor energy there. So, that the authoritarian control, expect more to come with that, more controlled maneuvers. I've already felt, inevitably when they want to try to spring some surveillance, digital ID, be prepared, guys. There's a lot more coming. Okay, we've kind of butted into this and stuff, but there's other things coming there. Okay, we're in the Scorpio month right now, so there's a lot of plots and plans for even more authoritarian control. I hope you guys understand that. If anybody's been paying attention, we've got an AI bubble that's about to pop. Okay, I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm not sure and stuff, but I feel there's a lot of people that are aware it's going to and stuff, which could lead to the absolute control beast system. Okay, and let's kind of go ahead and see. And the cruelty was the point. Expect more cruelty to come. Let's kind of go ahead and see what we got going on. Okay, Knight of Wands energy, that's kind of pointing me into Sagittarius energy and stuff. Yeah, change is coming. The good thing is, yes, a change in perception. That's what I'm looking at. People are seeing that. I noticed there's a crown on this one. Notice that. We got, somebody's trying to be a king here. Okay, and stuff. Change in perception. But yes, it was all these. You guys see the wealth card? If anybody was supporting Trump still, it's all about giving it, and see all this kind of cruelty at the bottom. Where do they talk about, the working people? They're at the bottom, right? Okay, but at the top, 1%, notice the card goes to the top, is wealth. Okay, the money is going to them. All of this suffering, the cruelty to people is to feed the rich. Okay, that's what it comes down to, guys. Okay, it's all right here in black and white. Spirit's trying to make it loud, clear, unarguable. Okay, what this is about and stuff. A beast system is coming, guys. Okay, and stuff. Now, the lust card is popping up in there. Yeah, lust for power, all of that. We also know Epstein files. There's a lot of chaos. Don't expect those to be released anytime soon. I don't know if Moses Mike Johnson is ever going to swear in that one lady that we were talking about in video 2. So let's see Trump's position. What do we got? And stuff. Yeah, he's riding on luck right now. You know, he's making all kind of money and stuff like that. He definitely is and stuff, but he's completely debauched. Absolutely. We were definitely seeing debauchery with his parties. You could call it that. While Americans were worried about starving to death. Okay. There's that. But so far, yeah, I mean, he's Teflon Don and stuff like that. That also is his card, is Knight of Swords for me and stuff like that. But also I've got the Queen of Cups. When I see this energy, that can be about empathy, compassion, sensitivity, love type energy. And that makes me feel there's a lot of people who saw the food insecurity issue and really felt for people. And that's what Spirit wants, is to feel for other people in their suffering, of course, and stuff. And then, yes, more handshake agreements deals. The lovers can be about that. The two sides coming together, well, but it's not for the benefit of the American people and stuff. 3 more years to go, yes, in the long term. We've got the 3 of Wands. We've got 3 more and stuff. And I feel like Spirit is saying with the 3 of Wands, we'll get through this, but it's going to be a bumpy ride. Now, as you saw in the layout, you see the bottom, cruelty, the top, wealth. Spirit it's so blatant, the change, but I can't help but notice the little crown. Okay, someone wants to be a king. Okay, it's all there in black and white, guys. And the lust, a lot of it, Epstein files, lust for power. There's a lot of people that participated in that. Even Ghislaine Maxwell said, hey, even in Trump's cabinet, there's people that were associated with Jeffrey Epstein, shrug. Okay. There were people in Congress that were, are on those flight logs. Okay. But, they're going to do everything they can to keep that. So don't expect a big reveal, coming up right away on that. It's going to be a while and stuff, but every dog has their day. But we got a few more years. Yes. Ending with 3. Yep. You got 3 more to go. Spirit saying, so we got to think. The 3 of Wands can also be about thinking of the long term. Like right now, we're going to have to go through this kind of upheaval, this collapse. There's a lot of things, and I see that, like the beast system, they're going to try to put that on. Okay, surveillance, control, those steps, digital ID, just, the collapse. Matter of fact, let's look real quick. I want to look a little more at that. Some people are concerned about the AI bubble. Let's just take a peek real quick. We'll just pull a few cards on it so the video is not too long. Because I think we all know that's coming. If you've been paying attention, there's a lot of the stock market, a big chunk of it, is AI. But these guys aren't making enough money to really sustain it. And a lot of people feel it's going to be bigger than the .com, the 2008 housing crisis. It's a matter of time. Let's do it as a little bit of a pyramid. A lot of deals, handshake agreements deals, see the little handshaking and stuff. Now, that could potentially point me to Gemini. I don't know if could it come that soon. Now, what are the big things? 8 of Pentacles. We know about this. AI taking jobs. Have you guys been paying attention to all the layoffs that are happening all over in these companies. Amazon, UPS, all kind of, even Meta, all kind of companies are laying off right now. There is gobs of layoffs that are happening before our eyes. So be prepared for more layoffs to come and everything. Yeah. Now, one of the things is when the AI bubble bursts, it doesn't just affect America, it'll affect the world because a lot is vested in the US dollar. Okay, it would be huge and stuff like that. Now, I look at the magician energy, and, there's definitely a lot of, casting illusions. Everything looks like, oh, stock market looks great, this, that. Just wait, guys. Okay, they're casting illusions. There's a reason they're building bunkers and stuff. The walking away, I could interpret that as we have, working people being affected. This walking away energy can also be a selling off stock. That I'm just going to walk away from all this, take my money and run. Okay. The final card and stuff. Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So anyway, which the stock market, I want you to kind of look at it right now. It's kind of big, whatever, but there's also going to be walking away kind of sell off. It's coming. It's going to impact the world right now. Everything is very illusory and stuff. It's overinflated. While everybody's saying, oh, the stock market's all great, it's overinflated. And all these deals that are going on, jobs definitely be impacted and things. So, but there will be people, when it bursts or whatever, know how it happens. The rich, there's a system that's going to come in and stuff that's going to be very different. It's coming, guys, and stuff. Yeah, let's roll the dice on that. It could be, Gemini energy is also popping up in there. We'll see. It's going to happen. So I do have number 12 popping up. And I've also got North Node, which can be about destiny. There's quite a few energies here that are popping up and everything. Some of this is beginning, I think is showing here. I could say around Gemini to Cancer energy. So I would say when we get into kind of spring going into summer as possible then. And so it could be as far up as then. So it's that one's kind of a tough one to predict, but it's inevitable, guys. It's overinflated. It's very illusory. The wealth, they're playing with the money and everything, where they're trying to make things look like people are gaining big. They're passing around the same money. So it's inevitable, something coming. So while all these distractions are happening, it's like, and some economists are saying, oh, it's not going to do it. And then others are like, oh, you guys don't understand what's coming. Okay, it's going to be big. All right, you guys, have a good one.